Hi Claire, hopefully this will work. So here we are, we've got our spreadsheet and it's got our details of date, type. These are the descriptions. I've just blacked them out on here just because they've got like all my Rainbow's names in and stuff. And then they've got the values and then the categories which you've gone down and written. So in order to pivot it, you to start with, it's just easier if you just select everything in there. I don't know if you've got opening and closing balances, don't worry if you haven't. So you just select it all and then you go up to the top here and click on insert, and then the first option is pivot table. So you click on pivot table and it has like this sort of wizard thing that does it for you. So it's already here selected the transactions that you want, and then the only other question that's asking is, do you want the pivot table to be in this spreadsheet or in like a new one? So you just leave it as it is, where it says new worksheet, and then click OK, and then it will automatically add a new tab to your workbook, which is fine, and then it has it here. So again, it's sort of like a wizard thing, so you can then build how you want it to look. So it then has the headings of your pivot table here. So on your original sheet, if you had maybe forgotten to add a heading here, you'd need to go back and add one. It would say, oh, sorry, your data doesn't have, it would, let me show you. If you do it and you haven't got a heading, then it says, oh, no, it isn't. Correct that. I thought it came up with an error. Yeah, so it comes up with an error that says that your field name is not valid, and that in order to do a pivot you must have data that is organised with labelled columns. So if it comes up with that error, then just let me know and I can tell you how to correct it. But it might just mean that you've maybe got a blank line at the top, or you've got one of the headings is missing from the box and stuff. So so that's fine. Right, so anyway, you go back to the tab that had it on. So it then has the same headings here. So you've got date, type, value, category. And what we want to do now is we want to list the categories. So we tick, so we get that, and the best thing to do is drag it down and put it into rows. If you don't drag it down and you just tick it, it will automatically put it into rows, which is fine for this first one. But then for the next ones, it probably won't do it. So then over here, as you might have noticed there, it then has set up the categories that you've got. So because how you've done them, you should then have one each. If you did have like a spelling mistake, which is what I was saying previously. So if you had a spelling mistake or it wasn't quite the same, so they're on income subs. If you then didn't have it, you had a different space, or you had like done it a bit differently for some reason, then when you went in to do it, it would then come up with sort of 3 different subs there, if you can sort of see that. So let's try and move it around. So you can sort of see there that it then does have subs and subs. So you obviously don't want that, but that's fine. If you've got that, like I've just gone in there and changed it, you can go back to your original ones and correct them so they are all the correct similar spelling. And then when you go back and do the pivot, you can then either redo it or you can just right click and click refresh, and then it will go back and update it. So it's now got rid of those wrong spelt ones and has done it in that way. So once you've got your list of items there, sort of does it in alphabetical order. If you don't really like it in alphabetical order, or you want to change it round, then you can change it round on here just by sort of dragging it. So there, if I click on Boatyard, I can sort of drag it down. You see it then switched it for Chip Shop there. So if you want to, you can then put subs at the top. Likewise, you can move all of you can put all of income at the top, which is how we like it when we do the final sheet in that way. So there is a way in which you can do it in that way. As I say, if not, it sort of defaults to alphabetical in that way, which again, depending on how you did it, if you've not written income above it, you could have everything sort of mixed in together. You might also want to, for your own benefit, just have a little look at the income and the expenditure next to one another, and bits like that and stuff. So and again, for mine, I've put opening balance and closing balance, so I'd sort of want to put closing balance at the bottom and stuff in that way. Anyway, once you've got that there, you can play around with that or just leave it as it first comes. You then want to have the value. So again, if you tick it, it automatically puts itself into that. It should put it into that value one there. It might not do. If it does, again, you can just sort of drag it down, or if it's automatically put it in that one, just drag it over. But that's how you want it to look. So you've got category in there and value in there. And again, it should sum it. If it doesn't, again, it would depend on your Excel. It might count it, and you'll know if it counts it, because over here it will say subs, and instead of like a big value, like I've got there, which is £1,510, it will say 30, because you've got 30 times that you've got subs in there, whereas actually you want the value of it. So again, if it does do that, it will say count here. So if you click on it, click on field settings, it'll bring up another box. As I said, if it had done count, it would be on count, and you can change it to sum, but it just depends how it's set up. So then it's got it there all done. So these are just, again, how the format is. If you want it to look a lot better like money, you can go in, select everything, click on format cells. That was right click there, format cells. It will bring up a new box, and you just change it to currency, and then it will make it look a bit more like money. There we go. So for this one, you've got opening balance, income, all the incomes. And again, you should notice, if you've done it like I've done it, the incomes are all sort of positive numbers, like that. And then expenditures are all negative numbers. Obviously, if you've ended up with an expenditure which is a positive number, or an income that is a negative number, then you might just see that you've got your headings right, but that's fine. Just go back to your tracking sheet, just pick whatever your sort of heading is that you've got there, to have a little look and go, oh no, I've put a minus in there, and sort of change it back and stuff. So however you want to do it, depends on how fussy you are. So then it's got it there, and then if you did run your mouse over the top of it, you would notice that you've got your opening balance 443. You've then got all your income there that add up together, and if you highlight them all there, it will say down here in the right hand corner, so sum 287553. So that's how much all your income is, and then your expenditure next to it, which is 2269, like that, and then your closing balance. And in theory, if you just did it on the pivot table, opening plus all of the income, take away all the expenditure. So we're hoping our closing balance will be 104997, which is 104997. So in which case it balances. Now, to be fair, you could just send that to me and that would be absolutely fine. But they just like it in this format here. So all we've done there is just copied the figures across, copied the headers across, and put them in there. So all those figures are there, and added up those subs in. Put all the, copied and pasted the other ones there, subs out, and then just done that little sum where it does that, take away that, gives us a balance, put our opening balance in, and then just proves that it closes to our closing balance, and then it sums off. So like I say, I love Excel, I use it all the time, and something like this is quite quick for me. If none of that makes sense, or your computer doesn't have this program or that type of software on it, then don't worry. If you've got this far and done the listing of all the items, then just send that across to me and I can finish off the other bit for you. I honestly don't mind. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.